When you open the file Transfer Colleges, you'll notice that there are labels already entered for you. And if you look at the column width, you'll notice that each of the columns by default is 8.43 points. So because there is more text, it actually looks like it's cut off, but we're going to fix that. You will also notice that we have two sheets listed here. So here's sheet 1, which is by default selected. Sheet 2 is one that we're going to deal with later, but I just wanted to point that out. If you wanted to add more sheets to the workbook, so all of the worksheets inside a file are called a workbook. So this is a worksheet, this is a worksheet, and you can add more worksheets as necessary. So you can actually see the contents of each of the cells, what's inside the cell up here. So tuition and fees is over here, and then in N, you see it says AACC savings, and because there is nothing in O, then it bleeds into the next column. So there isn't any text in O1. Because you will be making selections as we go through this project, I want to point out different ways that the cursor behaves based on what you have selected. So if I click in A1, okay, and I click, there's a little box at the bottom right here, and when I drag it down, it copies everything. So that little box in the bottom is called the fill handle, and so it will actually fill the cells with, it'll just essentially copy the cells. Another type of selection is if you want to select a cell and move the contents, you'll see that the cursor changes to these arrows, and when you grab it, then you can move that into a different place in the worksheet. This last type of selection is when we want to select a range. So notice when I click in here that the cursor is a white plus sign. So I'm going to grab the mouse and select B1 through N1. And then what I'm going to do is in the alignment group, there is this icon here that's called wrap text. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice that everything now is been wrapped so that all of the text shows. We do have an issue in L1 and M1, which we're going to fix in a minute. But what I'd like to do before we deselect this text is to align the text to the right. So click on the right alignment. Now we're going to change the column widths for L1, for column L. And so we click in L1 and click on Format, Column Width, and click type 7. Okay, that brings the app fee to 2 lines. The D needs to come to the first line here, so we're going to increase that a little bit by clicking on Column Width and typing 9. Now that brings the D to the first line. Next, we are going to right-click on Sheet 1, and we're going to rename this to Financials. And then hit Enter. And then that changes the sheet name. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to save this file using your last name. So I'm going to type in last name, but you will put your last name underscore and save it.